Hello, it's Miss Henderson with another digital photography video. Today we're working on the wind blend assignment, and the premise is you have two animals and a big wind comes up and mixes them together. So what's that going to look like and where are they going to be? So what you need to do is you are allowed to go and find pictures from the internet for this activity. However, they must be copyright free. So I recommend going to Pixlr and searching for copyright free images. So here I have a picture of a bear, a picture of a chihuahua, and a picture of outer space. So what I want to do right now is take the chihuahua head and stick it on the bear. Now it's important that the two animals are looking the same direction, whatever that may be. So how am I going to capture this thing? Well, first of all, I'm going to use the polygon lasso select tool or the magnetic lasso select tool. Because I'm screen capturing, the magnetic lasso tool is a much better tool for this. However, it does not seem to work very well with my screen capturing software. So we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. We're going to kick it to 1997. And we are going to use the polygon lasso tool. Now, the disadvantage of the polygon lasso tool is that it has really rough edges to it. We could feather the selection, which would soften it up a little bit. So now I have my selection. I can see my marching ants, my marquee. So I'm going to either use my keyboard shortcut, Control C to copy, or I'm going to go up here to edit copy. Okay. I'm going to click my bear picture and I'm going to go edit paste. Okay. Here's my chihuahua head. Now I'm going to click on the move tool. Okay. And I can move this head around. Now you may be saying, well, I want it right here, but this bear ear is going to be in the way. How do I fix that? All right, well, there's an easy solution for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hide my chihuahua layer, and then I'm going to make sure I'm clicking on my bear layer. And because I can't see very good, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. Now I'm going to click our clone tool, which we really have not talked a lot about, but it's like a rubber stamp. You're basically copying the background. I want to copy the background onto the bear's ear. So I want a bigger brush, so I'm using my bracket keys to increase the brush size. And I want a soft brush, so I'm going to change the hardness. Now on the Chromebooks, I can do either Alt or Control. Let me see if it, and it will see how it turns that. Now the Chromebooks are really tricky. You have to hit the letter K. Hit the letter K. I had to do this like literally like 6 times earlier. So I'm gonna, it will tell you if you're doing this incorrectly. Okay. And again, I'm gonna hit my Alt key because I want to get rid of that a little bit. All right, so that is the clone tool. All right, I'm turning back on my chihuahua head and you're like, oh my gosh, there is this huge green stuff all around the chihuahua head. So we're going to get rid of that. So there's 2 ways to get rid of this. One is I could use a magic wand tool, and oops, I'm in the wrong layer. I can increase the tolerance if I wish by just either typing the numbers or hitting this little slidey bar. And remember, I can hold down the shift key if I want to select more than one area. Now that's selected a lot. I can feather the pixels. What that does is give you a nice soft edge. So I can hit 2 and see what that does. Okay, now I can hit my delete key, or on your Chromebooks, the backspace key, and it will get rid of the background. All right, I was in the number 2 field, so it didn't work at first. Okay, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And I'm going to use my, I'm holding down my space bar to move it around a little bit. Again, I'm going to use my magic wand. Now, if I chose not to use my magic wand, the tolerance is set too high. I could just do it the old-fashioned way and use my eraser. So I'm going to deselect and hold down my shift key and see if that works better. Remember to deselect your selection. Okay, and then another way is just to do the plain old fashioned eraser. I like a soft eraser. So I'm making that a little bit bigger. So remember to make a straight line, you can hold down the shift key. And I recommend using a mouse if you were on a Chromebook. Using the trackpad is really, really difficult. Now, it's kind of tricky when you're working on hair. If you were looking earlier, I just completely erased the dog's whiskers. Now, what I tell some of my art students is you can easily draw them back on. You can get a brush or a pencil tool and just draw some light white lines. And if you don't like it, remember you can just do Control Z, which is edit undo. So let me do that real quick. Where were the original whiskers? All right, they were coming out of the eyeball. So I can hit my brush tool. I need to make sure that I have white selected. So I'm going to switch my color pickers around and I'm just going to draw those things. Now, I don't like that. I think it's too sharp. So I'm going to create a new layer for the whiskers. Now, this is a little bit extra, and you may not want to do it, but it is. I just wanted to throw that option out here. And then I'm going to change the opacity of this to make it look a little bit different. All right, so let's talk about the bottom of the dog real quick. It looks like I chopped him off. I mean, it looks like he was hit with an axe. Poor doggy. And you might say it's way too big. Yes, you're correct. This dog head is way too big. Now I need to move myself. I need to merge down the whiskers, because if I don't stick the whiskers and the dog layers together, when I edit free transform, it's just not going to work. So I need to make the dog smaller. I'm going to hold down my shift key and kind of think about this. I might need to rotate it. Remember right here, see how my, if I click on the corner, it can go from a diagonal line to a curve. So if I need to curve this, I can. But if I curve it too much, it's going to look really awkward. So I'm going to put that there. Now I might change the opacity of that so I kind of know where to erase. All right, so I'm going to see, and if you are like me and you're like, oh, I may mess up, let me duplicate that layer just in case. And I might lock that layer if I want. So I'm going to go back to layer 2, and I got my clone tool selected, and I need my eraser tool selected. So I'm going to click on my eraser, make sure it's a soft one, and I'm going to erase all of this. Okay, now let's see if that looks bad. I might be like, well, I kind of need a little bit more of his I'm not completely satisfied with that. So let me change it up a little bit. So one option we have available, if you don't like this hard line here, is you can use the smear tool. It's also called the smudge tool. So if you can't find that, you can look for the smudge tool. I love doing this. One of my students showed me how to do this. So I can use my smudge tool, and I need to make it big by clicking on my brackets. And I can also change the strength over there. So I can do a lot or a little. So this gives the Chihuahua a softer edge and doesn't look like I chopped it off with an axe. Now, this is not done, and I've not put this on the space background yet. All right, I do need to go back and fix that little corner or bring my Chihuahua over. Do I think this is perfect? No. Do I need some more time to work on this? Yep, absolutely. All right, so what I want to do now is I want to try to make this demonstration short. So I'm going to move this bear to my space layer. So I'm going to merge. First of all, I'm going to save my work as a PSD file. That way it keeps the layers separate. And I'm going to call this Windblend Bear number 2. Okay. And then I'm going to merge down. Okay. So that the head and the bear are one. And either I can select all and put it in the space, or I could use the magnetic lasso tool or the polygon lasso tool to, maybe I want some of this rock. And I'm going to select the bear and now the chihuahua. And like I said, I highly recommend using the magnetic lasso tool. It's just for some reason on my PC with the software, it just does not want to work. So I'm getting a little bit of these rocks because I don't want my bear to be floating in space. So I'm going to hit Control C or edit copy. Then I'm going to go over here to the space layer and hit edit paste. And I'm not sure how, ooh, this is very big. I was going to say, I don't know how big this is, so we might need to edit free transform. Now, I suggest that you guys, when you are working, yeah, it's not showing the anchors up. So we can do this. Oh, there it is. There's the anchor points. Now, if you don't want to do this on your Chromebook, it might be cumbersome. What you can do is check the image sizes before you put them together to make sure they meet. Okay, so now it looks like he's surfing in space. I kind of like this now. So I am going to zoom in. Am I done? Oh, no, absolutely not. I need to delete my background and delete all this stuff. Now, this is kind of complicated. There is the remove background tool that some websites have, and that works really good with people. So what I was saying was remove background works really well with people, but not so much animals. So that's why it's good to know these kind of skills. And sometimes the free programs that remove the backgrounds, they give you these very small images that are really, the file size is way too small for you to use for a digital photography class. They might work on social media, but not so much for digital photography. So remember to erase. What I'm doing to make a straight line is I'm holding down Control C. So I'm kind of getting to the areas that are mostly green over near the Chihuahua. So I might go back and use switch tools and use my magic wand tool to remove. And then I'm going to hit delete or my backspace key. And remember, I can hold down my shift key to select multiple areas at the same time and or change my tolerance. Now remember, I'm going to go in and I need to erase this. And if I start erasing this and it's not working, it's because these 3 areas are selected. So I need to go in and hit deselect. So if you ever have that problem where it's saying there's no area selected, just go back and hit deselect. So I am almost done with this. Now remember, while you are working on your art, you need to periodically save it in case your battery dies, in case the Wi-Fi dies. We've had that problems in the past where our electricity will just completely crash and kill our Wi-Fi. So make sure you save often. You will not regret it. And you're going to save as the PSD file because that has the different layers to it. And then when I'm ready to turn this in, I'm going to turn this in on Artsonia, and I'm going to save this as a JPEG or a PNG file. I can, like I said earlier, smear these edges to make them look more realistic. Yes, it looks like a fun surfboard, but we can fix that a little bit. You can, or I could use the clone tool. If I don't like these smears, if I think those are too ugly, I can go through here in my history palette and change that. And then I can click my clone tool, and I'm going to Ugh. Make this a lot smaller. So remember, I'm hitting Alt on my PC. You are going to hit the K key on your Chromebook. So I'm mixing up my rocks here to make them more of an organic shape. And if that looks too weird, remember, go back in your history panel. You can change that, or you can combine that with the smudge tool if you would like. Or I could simply find another place to do it, or just simply delete the background. All right, so we are doing a lot of different tools today. So I hope you learned a lot through this lesson called Wind Blend. See you later, my students. Bye.